So Anthony, thanks so much for joining me today. This is awesome. I'm super stoked that you could do this, and I really, I'm super curious, and I'm, dying to hear about your sync successes, which is really, really, really cool.
After the first guitar lesson, I learned the C, the AM, and the EM, and the D, I think. And I trained with these chords. After 1 hour, I called my teacher, say I made my first song. Of course, without lyrics, say what? And I started doing a lot of songs with these 4 chords. And then I started to, it was like learning all the songs I loved. And I did a lot of songs, which I used to call songs without lyrics, just everything melodically, like basically the verse, the chorus, and the bridge. And I did a lot of this for years, for I think 10 years at least. And then 5 years ago, I really started to push on the gas a little bit. So I started with SoundCloud doing cover. Then I went on doing covers on YouTube. And I started doing fake soundtracks to try to catch the attention of movie directors in my head, of course, because I have this romantic view. So I did a lot of fake soundtracks. And some of them went pretty popular, like 20,000, 30,000 plays. And there's people convinced that they're the real soundtracks. So sometimes they say they're looking for the songs and they're my songs. Yeah, a couple of them. So not very good. That's something I think I got to put offline very soon because it's not very. But it was like my way to try experimenting a little bit with I don't know, production. So I did a song for the movie Wonder. And everyone thought for 1 year that was like the official song of Wonder, and they look like.
Wait a minute. So let me get this straight. So there's a movie out there, Wonder.
Yeah.
That came out, and then you did a song as if it would go in the movie.
Yeah.
And then you released the song, and to the trailer, and people thought it was the trailer.
Yeah, because it went so popular that was associated with the real trailer. So the trailer was suggesting my song. And the same happened with the movie Boy. And everyone was looking Boy an official soundtrack. And it was like my song Fly With Me that's now being used in a lot of commercial. And then it was like my way to, I'm Italian, And I did this for like 1 year. And then I say, okay, now I think it's time to start producing my songs and stop doing this stuff. And I really went full in, I think it was 2018. So I really started 1 year and a half ago. And from there, I really started running with everything.
Amazing. What a cool story. And so I was going to ask you what drew you to music licensing, but obviously you already start, just by doing this experiment with these trailers, that's kind of what got you into music licensing in a way, right? So how did you go from that sort of idea of saying this is an interesting thing to actually licensing your music?
I think I studied a little bit, some books, to be honest. One of these books is the one that basically led me to the art of the song pitch, because I studied some generic course about the licensing, and basically that's when I produced a lot of songs and I create all my portfolio. And so basically the first steps were like trying to get into libraries, because that was my holy grail. And I was contacted, to be honest, by a library before starting to contacting them. So basically they wrote me and they say, I wanted to have you in a Rooster. So I basically, that was my first library, non-exclusive. Then I started writing to libraries. And I was also writing to supervisors with no avail, to be honest, because and then I say, okay, maybe it's time to improve a little bit my knowledge. So I started studying the book Thinking in Sync by Amanda Crick Thomas, and Amanda Crick Thomas was suggesting your course, and so I went and I said, okay, this course is kind of expensive, so it must be good, because in my experience, the one that cost the course that cost a little bit more are the one that were really. And to be honest, your course is like this course has really changed my mind, to be honest. because I was like randomly writing supervisor, and then I found out supervisors ate this, and that was what I was doing. Yeah,
Right.
of course.
You've been having all of these like microsyncs just start like hitting you now, like just recently, which is amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot. For example, there's video games. There's a video game called Scam, and they apparently is popular in Russia, and they're using a song of mine that's basically also been used for fashion. And the funny thing is, for example, the fashion photographer, after I complimented it on a video in which I was using my song, decided to feature me in a video for a fashion shooting. So in 2 days, I'm gonna do a fashion shoot. Yeah, it's crazy. And
Wow,
yeah.
You're going to be the model in the fashion shoot?
Yeah, I'm gonna ruin the shoot. I'm gonna ruin the shoot.
So cool.
And then I got featured in a web for an app that's called Story Boost. That's for Instagram.
Yeah.
From a Chinese influencer, for example, with apparently a couple of million of followers. I got featured by iJustin. That's a huge YouTuber with 6 million followers. In August, I was in Kazakhstan. And when I'm back from Kazakhstan, I see all these people looking up songs of mine. They're not on Spotify. And they write to me like, I really like your song, I don't know, Strangers in Disguise or Alive. And I say, oh, how do you know this song? This song is not on Spotify. And so I go back to these guys and I say, is possible this micro licensing is the reason these people are looking for these songs? And they say, of course. Because when an influencer is using your song, people want to hear the songs. Quantity is incredible. Like every day I make a search on YouTube and search my name, of course, the video of the day. And normally I find 1 or 2 video every day. And that's just the YouTube videos, doesn't consider the commercials, the video games, and all the people that are not mentioning because they are not obliged to, you know.
So you're finding 1 or 2 videos each day minimum with your music on it.
Yeah, let's say not minimum, not maximum. Let's normally one every
average.
When that doesn't happen, I'm really disappointed. Like, oh, like
that is amazing. The fact that you on average maybe 2 videos a day plus, like you said, all those other ones that you don't hear about till later.
Yeah, exactly. On the other side, at the moment, I have 20 songs in an exclusive library. 20 songs that basically taking dust.
Yeah.
So just my advice is just pick the exclusive libraries very carefully and don't give them too many songs. That's my personal advice. Maybe you disagree, but I still thinking, why did I give them 20 songs? I'm just very angry with myself. That's where I make a mistake.
Understood. And that is one of the big problems with libraries, and definitely not to libraries can be great, right? Libraries can be great. And you have to be so careful with them. And then also, as you just said, and also they get credit for your music, so when they're pitching music, their name is kind of behind it. So the supervisor or whatever gets the song and they say, thanks for sending the song. It was great. It worked out. Turns out it's your song. You're super happy. You feel great for that one sync. Supervisor needs another song, calls them up. They have a huge roster. You're not the only person on there. So they pick the one they think is probably not going to be yours because that's just the odds having so many songs on there. And then, and then you don't get the credit. But it's interesting to see that you're making so much more headway with micro licensing and doing it, really on your own than you are in this exclusive library where, like you said, your songs are just collecting dust up there.
Also, some of the other services, I got shortlisted a lot of time with SoundTrader. I got shortlisted Taxi. I got shortlisted I was called BroJam. I got shortlisted so many times. I got selected and nothing happened. And I think why I'm paying to do a selection and then I get another selection, then another selection. That's total, like it's basically lottery winning. With Music Supervisor, I literally just one hoop you have to jump through. One of the things that got me licensing, I almost got one bid for an hospital. And basically they were paying 120,000. for one single commercial, and I got in the first top 3.
It's been great having you in the Art of the Song pitch. And what I'm curious to know, what are some of how have you found the course so far, and what are some of the things that you've really enjoyed?
It's really granular, and there are cool courses that say reasonable stuff, but like you're on your own. And if you don't have experience, the only way to learn is by doing mistakes. The problem is that if I was doing mistakes, I think I probably burned a couple of supervisor people. Like I was like because some other people were telling me go on LinkedIn and blast them, and I was like not blasting them, but sending like I have all the mistakes, like I have 100 songs, I cover all genre, I think these songs are gonna and all the mistakes were in my messages. So it was like and I did it with very, very. One was Moller was by, I think it was
Chris
Moller. Chris Moller. I think I also wrote to Chris Moller. I hope I forgot this email, but that's the reason this course is very good, because it's not is really giving you all the details. Sometimes you really have to be very. You have to pay attention to every single detail. So everything, like also the selection, the way to select. The method you're proposing is really similar to the one I developed, but is much better. So studying their curriculum, their taste, trying to understand the way they're doing their job, stuff like this.
That's amazing. Well, that sounds great. You sort of answered my last question there, Anthony, about kind of what you see and where you're headed with this. So
I am planning everything.
Yeah, that's amazing. Like your whole story is amazing. Your successes are amazing. I'm super happy to hear about that. I love hearing, indie musicians like really rocking it, with stuff like that. And you're just starting, which is incredible.
Yeah, it's just started. Hopefully.
Yeah. And so thank you again for coming on today. Really appreciate this. And looking forward to seeing you in the next coaching call in the course.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me, despite my Italian.
You sounded great. Thanks, Anthony.
Thank you. Bye-bye.